And we're going to start it off with our go-to.
Green Acres is the place to be. Farm living is the life for me. Land spreading out so far and wide. Keep Manhattan, just give me that countryside.
New York is where I'd ride. I just adore a penthouse view. Darling, I love you, but give me Park Avenue.
The chores,
The stores,
fresh air.
Times Square.
You are my wife.
Goodbye, city life.
Green Acres, we are there.
Wednesday night, Buffalo Wild Wings, Part 8. What would that be? Well, 2 is due. Spanish
one.
for 8.
Yeah. Spanish phrase, ocho.
Ocho.
Ocho
Part
cinco.
Ocho.
Yes.
Okay.
Ocho, ocho.
We're Buffalo Wild Wings here in Navarre. Seminole Bob.
Yep.
Irish Bill, if you haven't figured that out by now. But I tell you, last night at Culver's was one of our best shows ever at Culver's.
Oh, man, we
So if
rocked
you
it.
missed out last night, you need to go back.
Shame
Yeah.
on you.
There you go.
Shame, shame, shame.
If you missed out, you need to go back and watch it because I thought that was one of our better Culver's shows.
Oh, I think so.
But that's yesterday. We're not going to live in the past except for last Friday night. We're going to talk with Nate Hansen here in a little while. Mr. Perfect.
Yeah.
We'll get into that.
We chastised him. We said, a few more touches. He had 3 touches, 3 touchdowns. Hey,
Yeah,
tell the offensive coordinator to get you more touches.
that's right.
And don't you think they will?
No. Oh, I'm sure they will. They got a big district matchup coming up this Friday night
Yeah.
at Milton. The last time that the Raiders went up there, it's the only loss that Coach Walls has had against Milton in his 12 years.
Yeah.
So you think the Raiders got a little bit of revenge on their minds?
well, I
I
mean,
think so.
yeah, most certainly. And it is a big game. There's no question.
Because this game, if they get to this one, it's 2-0. And then you got Pace and Gulf Breeze in back-to-back weeks to finish up the district play. But before we get to Navarre breakdown, let's tell you a little bit about other games that went on last Friday night.
Yep.
Thursday night game, Pace scored on their first 7 possessions and a 49-0 romp over Pensacola. Sometimes, the feeling when you get down to the bottom of the peanut butter jar and there's no more left?
Yeah.
That's what Pensacola's going through right now.
Good gravy.
All season long.
I think Pensacola needs to play Arnold.
Ooh, I bet you that would be a shootout.
Yeah.
First team to score wins.
No kidding.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't talk about a team that's down, but Pace is really playing good ball right now. 49-0 over Pensacola. That was the only Thursday night game last week. Friday night, Navarre in a tough one over Mosley, 35-31. The last 2 matchups between those 2 teams should go down in the history books as 2 of the better games in that series.
Most certainly.
Northview over Baker, 28-0. The long season continues for the Gators. We don't say that very often.
No.
Niceville with a last-minute field goal edges Pine Forest, 31-28. Catholic over Gulf Breeze, 38-17. That Catholic team's really good. And they're going to set up a matchup this week with Walton. Walton 6-0 on the season. Childs 35, Crestview nothing. A long season for the Bulldogs.
Yeah.
Walton 48, Mariana 14. Tate in a slugfest over West Florida 58-41. Godby over Booker T. Washington 43-6. Lincoln over Leon. I thought this game was going to be much closer than it was.
I did too. In fact, a bunch of us picked Leon.
And,
or maybe I was the only one.
You were the only one.
Yeah, sorry. There you go.
But the Trojans took them to the woodshed, 42-0.
That's why I'm 11 games back.
Yep. Choctaw at South Walton, the most points ever scored by a Choctaw team in a football game.
Well, it tied.
Tied?
Yeah. And
So it's still the most.
And the other team they beat with 66 points was South Walton.
66-30. So both times they played South Walton, they put up.
Oh, man.
Wow. Well, anyways,
132 points.
Rutherford 23. Arnold scores their first points of the season, 9. Carrollwood Day all over Florida High, 37-7. Wakulla over St. John Paul II, 45-0. Bozeman over Destin stay undefeated. Destin gets their first loss in a 35-9 loss there to Bozeman. Baker 37, Monroe Day 13. Holmes County 55, J7. Osceola Christian 40, Rocky Bayou 26. Port St. Joe over Vernon 39-9. Bluntstown over Sneeds. This was the first team to score wins because it was 7-0, Bluntstown. And Cottondale, what Bluntstown put up, they put up 10 times that. 70-28 over Franklin County. North Florida Christian over FAMU 45-0. Gadsden County over Jefferson County 55-0. Weewaw over Liberty County 14-7. Taylor County over Hamilton County 34-0. And that's one pick that I wish I had my pick back.
Yeah, build those small schools. That's really old. Small schools, really old school.
Old schools, yes.
They don't have. They're a small school for a reason, Bob. Yeah, and a lot of their players play both ways. Old school football. We've got some great small schools in our area.
We do.
Phenomenal football.
Look what Bozeman's doing this year. Holmes County put up about 40-plus a game.
What district, or not what district, what are they?
Region.
1S?
They go by regions when they get
What
down
go
to
by region?
1R. So let me get to their.
Really? So they're in the same region as Baker?
Well, they have 2 regions.
Okay.
Region 1, this is Region 1. Bozeman, Holmes County, Chipley, Jay, Vernon, Northview, Baker, Freeport, and Graceville. Region 2 is Osceola Christian, Bluntstown, Port St. Joe, Cottondale, Liberty County, Sneeds, Weewaw, Jefferson County, and Franklin County.
Holy crud.
So there's 20 teams, and about 19, 20 teams in those 2 regions in 1R. And one nice thing that even if they do change in the future, they're talking about a few proposals out there right now to go back to different classifications. I wish they'd just leave it alone. And you know what? High school I went to, we're still in the same conference we were in when I was in school.
Yeah.
And that was, well.
When dinosaurs roamed the earth?
I graduated in 1981, 42 years ago, and we're still playing in the same conference. Why do they keep having to make adjustments? Quit making adjustments. Establish one classification and don't revisit it every 2 years.
So I graduated in 77 from Fort Walton. How many different districts, configurations has Fort Walton been in 30 years? Maybe 10?
It's ridiculous.
Well, I know you want to always, keep it interesting, and sometimes leaving it alone is the best thing, don't you think?
They say what they want, better competition. Because one thing, if they do go to this, they're saying that you don't have to play anybody in your district. They're going to base it all off the RPI, whatever that. However,
man.
and the top 2 teams will play each other in week 11 for the district title. I don't like that. That's another game that the kids have to play. I know they don't mind playing, but that adds another round to the playoffs. And I like it right now the way it is, but
Leah Leave it alone.
Oh, we got one more game. Lighthouse gets in the win column once again. They had a forfeit earlier in the year, so they are now 3-3.
They won by forfeit or they lost
They
by
won by a forfeit.
Okay.
A game,
Oh,
forfeit
that's
game.
right. They were supposed to play FAMU, I think.
Yes. And Pike Liberal Arts, they beat them 19-14. They're out of, I believe they're out of Georgia. Troy. There
Troy.
you go. So, anyways, there's your high school scores. Let's get to the breakdown of last Friday night's game.
Exciting.
Your Ian Lockwood player of the game. The young gentleman sitting to my left, Nate Hansen. Our offensive player of the game for Mosley, Sam Freitas. Mosley, if Mosley won, he probably would have been our Ian Lockwood player of the game.
Yep.
Our Will Sutter, defensive player of the game, we actually give him it out to 2. Special teams, Mason Baker had a lot of tackles early in the first half. And Vinny Villanova, 20 tackles on the night, 12 solo, 8 assists, and a big cause fumble as Mosley was getting ready to score.
Yeah, I've been with you about 5 years. I don't remember a time when there was a Navarre player had 20 tackles.
Well, there was one. Remember the Pace game? I think it was the first year you were with me. First or maybe the second year. Christian Caballero. We went up to Pace, and Christian set the school record with 30 tackles in a game.
Yeah, I was not with you at that game.
Okay.
I think that was Robbie.
Possibly. I think you're all right.
But I was with you the following Wednesday, so I should have remembered that.
30 tackles in a game.
And you and I have, well, you've been doing the statistics. And some schools kind of fudge on things. I'm not saying any names, Freeport High School. Pad statistics and are very, not pad, they're very liberal in tackles and assists and things like that. Navarre, I have seen the last 5 years, has not been like
They're
that.
tough.
Yeah.
They're tough on their statistics.
And those tackle, now who determine, the coaches determine the tackles?
They go back and watch the film and determine the tackles.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. But I can't always catch the defense. I mean, if it wasn't for Paul Villanova downstairs announcing the tackles, a lot of times I can't even see him from where I'm at because there's 2 or 3 bodies in the way, 2 or 3 bodies tackling.
Yeah.
So, well, let's get to the scoring. Well, we got special teams player of the game was Terrence Marshall.
Mm-hmm.
What a night he had returning kicks. I was surprised they kicked that second time to him.
Yeah.
But anyways, the scoring, very first play of the game. Connor Matthews, a kind of undescript play, right up the gut. It looks like he's boxed in.
Looks
He's
like
not
he
going
stopped.
anywhere. He
Looked
stopped.
like- yeah.
He got a little nudge from behind from his big bubbas.
Yep.
It went down to his hand, did not go down,
Yep.
and broke free for a 51-yard touchdown run.
That was electric.
And it was, as I described it in the play-by-play in the end, I said, is that man not amazing? It was an amazing play. And he's not done that just once this year. He's done that numerous times.
Including one time when they had this face mask early in the tackle, and he broke free.
51-yard run to get it going at the 11:34 mark. Daniel kicks 7-0 Navarre. They would get the ball back. This time a 19-yard, what a perfectly designed fake to Connor Matthews and the keeper by Hunter Feaster, and he takes it in from 19 at 7:06.
Yep.
And a 14-0 lead at that time. We're thinking, gosh, it's going to be a runaway. But no, we're playing Mosley.
I said that as soon as they scored that second touchdown, didn't I?
You did. And Mosley got on the board with 35 ticks left on the clock in the first quarter. A 2-yard run by Freitas. One of 4 fourth-down conversions for the Dolphins. The only one they didn't convert was a critical one.
The one that
end of the
counted.
game. But Josh Harris with the kick. 14-7 at the end of 1. We go to the second quarter. A lot of scoring in the second. We had 4 touchdowns and a field goal. Mosley tied it up at the 6:35 mark on a 2-yard run by Freitas. Harris kick. Mosley tied it 14-14. At 5:01, they would take their Navarre would get back on the board to take a 7-point lead. 59-yard run on the double reverse to Nate Hansen.
Oh, that was so pretty.
Daniel's
well
kick
designed.
was good, and the Raiders
Well
had themselves a 21-14 lead. But 3 minutes later, a 12-yard run by Marquise Wilkerson. Harris kick. We're tied at 21 again. But it only took the Raiders 39 seconds to get back on the board.
Crazy.
This time a 32-yard pass from Feaster to Hansen. The first of two for Nate on the night. Daniels kick good. Raiders up 28-21. Somehow,
beautiful.
Mosley would get the ball back.
Yeah.
And with no time on the clock, Josh Harris kicked a 39 field goal. And that would have been good probably from 50.
Easy.
He's a very diminutive guy. And I tell you, he's got a cannon for a leg.
Have you ever seen a kicker that is not diminutive this side of Tom Dempsey?
You had one, Sebastian Janikowski. Anders Carlson, that now kicks for your Green Bay Packers, is like 6'3", 6'4".
Oh, that's true.
So, anyways, we go to the half. Navarre up 28-24. We're figuring, guys, we're going to have lights out in the second half. Well, it was for the third quarter. There was 2 touchdowns. Mosley got their first lead on a 10-yard run by Ethan Kellum. Harris kick, and that put Mosley up 31-28, not knowing that would be the last points that they would score on the night.
In the third quarter, we shut them out in the fourth quarter.
2 minutes and 40 seconds later, it's that tandem again. Feaster to Hansen from 10 yards out. Daniel kick, 35-31. That would be the end of the scoring on this game as both teams flashed the defense in the fourth quarter, but none other than the big flash on the final play of Mosley's game as the big hit from Joshua Wilson stopped Sam Freitas, and the Raiders took over on downs and ran out the clock for a 35-31 win.
And, sometimes when a play is close, the offense will, we got the first down.
There was nothing.
No, nada, nil.
But what I liked that as the seconds ticked off the clock in that game, there was no fight. There was no discourse amongst the two teams. They were in a battle, and they came up and they hugged each other. And there's a couple of players that shook hands with the Navarre players from Mosley, number 9, Ray Bruins.
Took his helmet off.
Which
is kind of a golf thing, right? You take your cap off before you shake hands. Shook hands all the way across, starting with our quarterback, and then he shook the referee's hand. And that's class.
Right. Before we get to the rest of this stuff, there was another class thing that happened in the NHL last night. I know I don't normally talk hockey on here, but the very first game for Connor Bedard for the Chicago Blackhawks, he is facing off with Sidney Crosby at center ice to start the game. The referee looks over to Connor Bedard. He said, "Young man, welcome to the NHL." And he said, "Let's have a great game," and drop the puck. And I thought that was pretty cool. But sportsmanship, it's still out there. It's been kind of hard to find of late, but I think we're taking a positive step, like at the end of the Mosley-Navarre game last week, in the right direction.
Hope so, yeah. The game started out pretty chippy, I think you'll agree.
It did.
And
a lot of these players played in the game last year over in Mosley, and that was a tight contest back and forth. So, well, let's get to the rest of the stats. Hunter Feaster, 7 of 8, only threw 1 incomplete pass, and that was a drop right in the hands of Tyrell Marshall, or he would have had a perfect night.
6, yeah.
Sam Freitas, 13 of 18, 215 yards. Terrence Marshall, 4 receptions, 53 yards. Nate Hansen, like I said, 2 receptions. Both of his went for touchdown for 42 yards. Jack Massey, another big game. Guy, I was very impressed with that young man.
Where do you – he's going to play on Saturday somewhere. Where does he fit in? Is he a Dante Wright-ish?
Speed-wise, yes.
A third down back, catches the ball out of the backfield, makes things happen. Is he too small to be converted into a wide receiver?
Well, he's lined up mainly at wide receiver last week.
Yeah.
So I would probably see a slot.
Yeah.
Maybe not, I don't know if D1, maybe D1 AA because of his size. But that young man's going to be playing on Saturday no matter where he's at. And
as long as university pays your tuition, dude, you could end up at Antarctica U, and I would, still root for Antarctica U.
And I know that Mosley quarterbacks are going to be playing somewhere as well. But very impressed with that young man the last 2 years, and he's only a junior.
And Coach alluded to it last week, his knowledge of Mosley's offense was impressive. He was clearly a coach on the field, knew exactly what his coach wanted him to do. I was just really impressed with him.
Well, he had 7 receptions for 85 yards. Carson Griffin had 2 big catches for 83 yards for Mosley. The rushing attack, Hunter Feaster led the way, 10 carries, 93 yards, and a score. Connor Matthews, 15 carries, 89 yards. A nice combination there, and 1 carry for Mr. Hansen for 59 yards. Ethan Kellum led Mosley rushing attack with 21 carries for 100 yards, and Sam Freitas, the quarterback for Mosley, with 92 yards and 2 scores. Special teams, Tyler Daniel, 5 for 5 extra points with 1 touchback. Terrence Marshall, 2 kickoff returns, 99 yards. Josh Harris, 4 for 4 on extra points. On defense, we had 4 double-digit tacklers, led by Vinny Villanova and Andre Spence with 20 each. Connor Block with 12, Tristan Ferreira with 10 tackles. But the big tackle on the night came from Mr. Josh Wilson.
Sure did.
He made the initial hit, and his buddies were there to finish it up. So the Raiders move on, 4-2. They'll be taking on Milton, a team that's had a little bit of hard time scoring this year. And but it's always a good matchup when Santa Rosa County teams get together. But this one will be up at – I always try to remember the name. I know it's something – Hurley Manning Field. Hurley Manning Field. At
Hannah.
I always mess that up.
Hannah something.
Hannah Haywood or
yeah, something like that.
Stadium. Yeah.
Stadium.
Well, anyways, we'll be up there Friday night.
Yeah.
Paul, myself, Bob, and hopefully Raider Riley will join us up there as well. If not, we'll have a threesome. Well, we'll have 3 guys in the booth, 1 doing the camera, 1 doing play-by-play. Let me get this straight. There's always one thing I say at night that just I look back and I go, really, Bill? And that's what right there.
That's not what you meant.
That's not what I
understood.
meant. Well, let's go to commercial break because we want to get Nate Hansen here on our first interview. And this is Irish Bill with Seminole Bob, wide receiver from Navarre. Nate Hansen will be our guest as we come back from this commercial break.
Craig Culver of Culver's.
Before farm to table, before field to fork, there was just good, wholesome food. Grown by America's farm families, prepared fresh at Culver's, and always served with a smile. We still cook every Butterburger to order using fresh 100% Midwest beef and craft our frozen custard right in the restaurant using family farm fresh dairy. So thank you, farmers. Welcome to Delicious.
Great teams have great support. The Navarre Raiders have one of the best support organizations, the Navarre Raiders Quarterback Club. All the members see to it that the Raiders have all available necessities to keep the Raiders on track, whether it's seeing to it that they're properly fed, have good transportation, or making sure that all Raider fans can watch and hear all exciting Navarre Raider football action. The Navarre Raider Quarterback Club is there to make it happen. Thanks, Navarre Raider Quarterback Club, for your support of your winning Navarre Raiders on IrishBillSports.com.
A strong work ethic takes pride in a job well done. This is the kind of person you need. Express Employment Professionals can help because we understand what it takes to hire the right person. It takes real people, real interviews. We find good people, matching the right skills with the right jobs from the production floor to the front office. Express knows jobs. Get to know Express. Go to expresspros.com to find a location near you.
University Lending Group, located in Harvest Village, is Navarre's local mortgage lender. If buying, selling, or building a dream home is in your future, you need to contact University Lending Group. Jennifer Gomes and Stacy Wright are the loan specialists who have the experience to take you step by step to make your buying, building, or selling experience smooth. See University at 752 Navarre Parkway, Suite 56, or call 850-396-0322.
Well, welcome back to Buffalo Wild Wings Coaches Show here. It's Wednesday night as we get ready for Milton Panthers this week. Joining me on the show, a wide receiver, Nate Hansen. Let me tell you a little bit about what happened last Friday. Nate touched the ball 3 times, 59-yard touchdown run, 32-yard touchdown reception, and a 10-yard. But both of those passes were right on the money, weren't they, Nate?
Yes, sir.
What a season. Hunter, each game has progressively gotten better. But what I'd like to see out of him is toughness running the ball.
Mm-hmm. When he get that ball, he you can see we had
it's
one
like,
play.
Get off me!
Yeah, last play it looked like he slowed down just so we could get a piece of one of them.
He did that. He did that against in the previous game as well. But coming in this game, the game plan, it looked like you got up 14-0. It was like, did you guys think, well, guys, we're going to take off and run away with this one?
Yeah,
But you remember the game last year at Mosley. It was a back-and-forth game. You knew these guys were going to hit you right back in the mouth.
I mean, we knew they weren't just going to give up. I mean, obviously it feels good to have a 14-0 lead, but we had to stay locked in, and it ended up being a close game, and we just, stay focused in and did what we had to do.
I mean, our defense has been kind of a bend and break this year. But it seems like always in a big occasion, they step up.
Yeah, they came up big twice at the end of that game, and it was great to see that fumble, and then that 4th down stop was just crucial.
That was a big hit by Vinny Villanova and Connor Black to jar it loose, and there's Darius just waiting on the ball right in his hands. So that was a huge play, but then the stop by Josh Wilson at the end of the game. Josh continues to make big play after big play.
Dude, he's fantastic. But having to block him in practice, he's so strong and so quick is not fun.
And he's not one that is showboatish. He just goes out there and does his job.
Yeah, he's really straightforward. Just does the job. He don't mess around. He's just straight to business.
Well, last year, 2 catches, 27 yards. Your junior year. What going into your senior year? What flipped a switch for you? What did you know that you had to do to get prepared for your senior year?
I just knew I'd have a bigger opportunity, a bigger role, and I've been waiting for it. I've been ready, and I just taking advantage of the opportunity I get.
Well, I was talking with Paul Villanova the other day, Vinny's dad, and he said, Bill, what player does Nate remind you of? Well, I knew what direction he was going to go, being a big Patriots fan. Of course, he said Julian Edelman.
Yeah.
He's probably said that before to you, hasn't he?
I've heard that. I've heard that a couple of times. Him, Cooper Kupp, Hunter Renfrow, all of them type of players.
What player do you model your game after, or do you just go out and play it the way that you think the game should be played?
I would say the 2 people I most watch film on is and trying to emulate my game is Hunter Renfrow for the Oakland Raiders and CeeDee Lamb for the Dallas Cowboys. I'm a big Cowboys fan, so
they're having a good year except for this past weekend.
Yeah,
they're playing the best team in the league right now. It's 49ers down. They're flat out the best team in the league. So that's good. 2 good people to model your game at. But so you knew you had to get stronger. And I know that you played a lot of 7-on-7 on Dwayne Carter's 7-on-7 team, C3 Sports team. What did that experience playing 7-on-7 help you prepare for this year?
I mean, it was great. I mean, Hemi and Coach Carter, they brought me in, and they really gave me an opportunity to just like a lot of extra work in the off season, some exposure. I mean, it was great. And also, you get to meet all the kids in the area, kind of know your talent, know what you're surrounded by, and it was great.
And, I mean, a lot of talent you're going up against in the area as well. And it's only going to make you better. One of the running backs that had played for C3 Sports. Aeneas Williams is committed to Notre Dame. So that's the type of talent that you're playing with and against.
Yes, sir. I mean,
But you come into this, I believe there's about 20 to 22 of the seniors, not as big as class as the previous years, but you knew you had to take a leadership role coming in this year. I asked the same question to Hunter last week. And so what did you do in the offseason to prepare yourself mentally for your senior season?
I mean, I kept on, visualizing, emulating, like, what I got to do and, like, how big of a role I'm going to have, like, the bigger step and just, taking the younger guys under my wing and just, focusing, keeping them locked in and keeping them, like, focused on the main goal.
I mean, you got a lot of talent on this team. Terrence, Tyrell Marshall. I mean, Terrence, once he steps on the field, he's one of the better players on the field on both sides of the ball. Connor Matthews, what about him, the way he stepped up his game this year?
Dude, that first run he had against Mosley, I was running my dude off, and I kind of started running back to the plate because I'm like, oh, he's down, and he breaks off. I was like, what? I was like, I ran to go get my block. He's fantastic. He never go down, and he's just.
The one thing I said on the broadcast Friday night, I said, young man, that's why you never skip legs days in the weight room.
That man's pushing a lot of weight in the leg. He got 500 plus on the bar.
But who I've really been impressed with is the offensive line, who I call the Big Bubbas. Charlie Cottrell, the captain of that offensive line. Drew King, Jacob Walsh, Cameron Pollard, and you got the young man on the other side, Jackson Spalla. What a job they have done to protect Hunter Feaster this year.
I mean, every week they've been getting better and better. Like, I feel like as a team also, we're just getting better and better, and they're probably like the main focal point.
And 4 of those are your senior buddies, and they'll be playing this season. Hopefully, we'll make a long run into the playoffs. But they've only allowed 1 sack on the year all season long. You got to pat them on the back as well. Also doing a lot of the blocking up front. Your tight ends, Jacob Crowder, Jack Helton, and B.B. Brown don't get enough credit. They're not always the targets, but I tell you, they're doing their job blocking on the offensive line.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we come up to Milton. Last time that we went out to Milton, unfortunately, Milton beat us for the first time in I don't know how long. In fact, it's the only time the coach has lost to Milton in his 11 years that he was here. It's a game, it's kind of a mismatch on paper, but we don't play this game on paper. And this is a district matchup, and you can't look ahead to Pace the next week. So what has Coach Walls told you this week to stay focused on Milton?
I mean, he keeps telling us like it's a trap game. Like we can't get hearing all this noise like, oh, they're 2-4, oh, they're getting beat. Like, we can't let that get to our heads. We just gotta stay focused and treat it like any game. I mean, it's a district game at the end of the day, and we gotta treat it as like a playoff game.
And I know Coach goes week to week, and his goal is to be 3-0 against Santa Rosa County teams every year. And this will be just the big step. It would make you 2-0 in district play. I know you have ambitions of going on and playing in college. It doesn't matter what level. My son played Division II football, and I tell you, I loved watching. I went to every single game. I loved. So one thing I want the young men to get out there, it's not all about D1. If you get an opportunity, look what Tyler England's doing up in Huntington, former Navarre Raider. He's doing a great job up there. Once you get to college, what are you going to study?
Right now, probably engineering or sports broadcasting. I'm kind of deciding between those two.
Hey, you're in the right spot tonight then.
Yes, sir.
I wish I would have done that and went to school, but I got the opportunity later in life. This is my 15th year broadcasting Navarre Raider football. And I tell you, it's that my dad always told me, Bill, he said, if you find something that you love to do, it's not a job. This isn't a job. This is a passion.
Yes, sir.
And I'm glad that I have had talented kids like you and the players that have come before you at Navarre High, because it makes my job really easy.
Yes, sir.
So what expectations do you have for the rest of the season?
I mean, I obviously we want to go all the way. We just – to get to that, we just all got to stay – we've been locked in. We just got to stay locked in and keep grinding. And, I mean, I just hope it lasts as long as it can. I don't want it to end.
Yeah, enjoy the ride. And, folks, I hope you have enjoyed the ride so far tonight. Navarre 4-2 on the season. Big game coming up at Milton Friday night. And join us on IrishBillSports.com. And let's welcome, thank Nate Hansen for his job well done tonight. Thanks, Nate.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you.
And it's always greater to be a Raider. Thank you. We're going to go out, take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back with Coach Walls.
All Dry is 100% veteran-owned and operated. They have a proven process that guarantees customer satisfaction along with job completion to industry standards. In addition to water and mold remediation, they hold certifications in fire and smoke odor control cleanup, trauma, crime scene, and biohazard cleanup. If you're in the Gulf Coast region, including areas in Florida, Alabama, and Mississippi, you can rely on All Dry 24/7, 365. And you can find them on the World Wide Web at www.myalldry.com/Gulf Coast region.
Thinking about selling your property? Call Ursula Householder of Coldwell Banker Realty in Navarre now. The consultation is free, and Ursula uses the best tools the industry has to offer. Her years as a top producer, relocation specialist, and Florida military market specialist will help you get the desired result. If you are buying, Ursula's experience will help you make an informed decision to find the right home for you. And if you mention this advertisement, Ursula will donate $100 to the Navarre Raider Quarterback Club when the deal closes. To find out if you qualify for any of the military rewards, call or text 850-642-5711 or email ursula.householder@cbrealty.com or go to urhouseholderhomes.com. That's urhouseholderhomes.com. Go Raiders!
Craig Culver of Culver's.
Before farm to table, before field to fork, there was just good, wholesome food. Grown by America's farm families, prepared fresh at Culver's, and always served with a smile. We still cook every Butterburger to order using fresh 100% Midwest beef and craft our frozen custard right in the restaurant using family farm fresh dairy. So thank you, farmers. Welcome to Delicious.
Welcome back to the Buffalo Wild Wings Coaches Show. With me now is Coach Walls, Navarre head coach. Welcome back to the show, Coach.
Good to see you, Bill.
And it's always better when you're coming on after a W, isn't it?
Always.
Well, big game last week, a back-and-forth game. Early on, you jump out to a 14-0 lead, but you knew that was not going to hold with that strong Mosley team.
Yeah, right. But I think that was definitely a big part of our win, that momentum. Getting a big return to open the game up. Terrence and everybody on KOR doing a great job there. And then Connor with the big play when he was tackled about 5 times and broke every tackle and outran everybody to the end zone.
I've watched that one about 5 or 6 times, and I still don't see how he made it.
Yeah, he is. I tell you, and it always goes back to the way he works in practice. Whenever we run, it doesn't matter what play it is, but he is really going hard, and it pays off.
One thing I told Bob on the broadcast Friday night is, says, gentlemen, that's why we don't skip legs day in the weight room. He's living proof of that.
Yeah.
But a tight game. Mosley comes back and ties it, back and forth in the second quarter. They get a late field goal. You're up 4 going to half. That's when the defense decided to pick up their game in the second half. Mosley drove down a couple of times, but big defensive plays by your front 7.
Yes. At halftime, Coach Bagley and the defensive staff, they made adjustments and came out, and it took a little time, but they kept working at it. And defensively, I was just so proud of our kids that they never quit. They never gave up. The coaches kept coaching hard and really working to come up with adjustments that could get a stop. And, it happened, with the turnover. Connor Black made a really good hit, and then Vinny Villanova came in, and I believe, when Connor hit him, it just got the running back just kind of turned in an awkward way, and Vinny was able to come in and knock the ball out, I believe, and Darius recovered.
It's right there. The ball is like, hello.
Yeah, and that was huge for us because they were going to score.
Connor's done that twice this year.
Yeah.
I believe it might have been the Tate game where they were going down to score, and Connor didn't give up on the play and chased him down from behind and stripped him at about the five inside the 5-yard line. That's twice now that he's done that season. But what I was really impressed with, Mosley had the ball most of the second half.
Yeah, that you could tell when they came out that first drive that they were going to try to shorten the game, control the clock, run the football, run it out. And they've had a lot of success with that. Their quarterback is a really good player, can run really well. They're effective with the running game with him, and then he throws the ball well. But, that fumble and then, the stop that we got, the 4th down stop, their last drive, that was just a great job by our defensive players, staff, everybody, because we stop them there, and then we end up getting a first down. We had 2 plays, I think, and got a first down, and then we're able to take a knee. So just proud of our kids to the way they competed. Proud of our defense for not giving in, even though it was a tough battle. Mosley wasn't going to lay down, and we came away with a win.
Bob and I were talking about, we were on that one where they ended up fumbling. We were kind of surprised that he didn't take the field goal there and get within a 1 point, because then if he would have kicked that one, all he would have had to do is kick a field goal at the end of the game.
Yeah.
But the Raider defense stepped up big, and that's all year long. They've kind of bent, but when they need to, they always come up and rise to the occasion.
Yeah, it's been just kind of, the way we play ball. Our kids are really steady. And there might be a big play. Of course, Mosley's not a bad team.
No.
They've got some big playmakers, but our kids don't get down. They keep playing, and, it's fun coaching them.
What did you say to the kids after the game?
Just proud of those things. I was just proud of the way we came out, the momentum. I was, proud of the big plays, and we talked about it too, before the game that we got to do what we did against Carroll. Can't turn the ball over. Got to get turnovers. We didn't turn the ball over, and 1 turnover was enough. So we talked about that, and just big plays. Talked to them about that right there. I think we had 6 big plays in the game. Mosley had 4, and as far as big plays of 25 yards or more.
Well, the Tate game, you turned the ball over 4 times, but you haven't had a turnover since then. But what's been impressive, though, is the running and the heads-up, hard-nosed running of your quarterback, Hunter Feaster.
Yeah, Hunter's playing really well. He's making really good decisions, throwing the ball, and he's become a really good run threat. We've known he could run effectively, but, the strength that he's gained in this past offseason, you can see it on the field because he breaks tackles. He's still got good speed, and we've seen him, get big plays, run down
It's
the field.
almost like he wants to get hit. Because there was that play, the big, long 34-yard run. He gets down there and it kind of reminded me of Walter Payton on that. It's like, get off me.
Yeah. Yeah, he's not afraid of contact, that's for sure. And I don't know if I mentioned to you, we've come up, we're running a little bit of Wildcat, with our running backs, but he's known as Big Cat.
Big Cat.
Yeah.
I like that. You got a question, Bob?
Yeah. Share with our listeners how important that, speaking of the weight room, how important the weight room, the weightlifting and conditioning is both in season and off season.
Oh, it's vital. Any success, any championship, the path to that success or that championship goes right through the weight room, through that front door of the weight room. And, we take, a lot of pride in it. It's always been part of our program and part of our success that, we work hard year-round. We maxed out during open week.
Wow.
Yeah, and had a lot of improvements with maxes. But that's what good good teams do, good programs do. They're going to work hard. About 8 years ago or so, I think, during the playoffs up in Georgia, Coach Greg Taylor, when he was our defensive coordinator, we went and visited Moultrie, Colquitt County, when Rush Probst was there. We spent 3 days, and I know for sure one of those days, and I believe it was on Monday and Wednesday, but that Wednesday morning they worked out. And they were in the weight room breaking records. And this is the week of the state championship game. They were working out before school. They were breaking records, maxes, rep records. So, that's the kind of effort, that's the kind of work ethic you got to have to be successful. And let me add one more thing. We've got a great strength coach, Coach Bagley.
I was just getting ready to bring that up.
Is the best that I've been around. And it's always been important to me. The weight room has always been important as far as building a program and being successful.
I mean,
he does a great job.
It doesn't hurt when you've got a state championship coach and kids. Some of your football players weightlift. Right. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, all of them do. They don't really know it when they join the team, but when they join the football team, they've joined the weightlifting team as well.
You don't got to. There's no option.
Yeah.
But the success. But one thing that also has been a success for you is the coaching staff that you have around you. Talk a little bit about each one of your coaches on your staff.
Okay. On the offensive side of the ball, on the O-line, Coach Ben Gannis is our O-line coach. Ben has a lot of experience coaching O-line. He's been a college O-line coach for numerous years. Also an offensive coordinator. He's been with us now going on 2 years, and he was at Huntington for I want to say maybe 8 years. I'm not really sure, but as an assistant and also as their coordinator, and just great coach, very knowledgeable.
So how did you get it? How did you get him down here, or was he just interested in making a change?
Well, it was just timing. I needed a coach, and he was looking around, so it worked out, and we're grateful to have Ben. At tight end, our tight end coach is Kirk Whited, and Kirk is our head baseball coach. So you got a guy that has head coaching experience that's coaching your position group or one of your position groups. And Kirk's been with us now for, I know I'm just losing track of all the years they're all running together, but Kirk's been with us now at least 5 years, if not more, but does a great job with our tight ends. Wide receiver, Brad Rhodes. Brad's been with us now, I want to say 7 years maybe.
Yeah, it's gone by quickly.
Yeah, and Brad was a head coach up in Alabama. So, just a sharp guy, a lot of experience. And he knows exactly, what we do with our offense and the receivers. He knows all the ins and outs of everything that needs to be done. And then Coach Anthony Hemingway is coaching our running backs, and Anthony's been in our program. He's been on the varsity level now 2 years. He was on our 9th grade staff, I want to say about maybe 5 years. And Anthony is a great guy, has a great relationship with the kids, does a good job with our running backs. The last 2 years our running backs have been a huge part of our offense. Of course, that's kind of what we do at Navarre. We run and throw the football, and we've been very blessed with some good running backs.
Yes, we have.
And then Coach Bagley on the defensive side of the ball, he's our defensive coordinator, coaches linebackers, and everything that he brings with him in the weight room, he brings it, in the meeting room, on the practice field, at games, just always focused, working hard, trying to get better. That's his he is going to give you 100%. And also, he does that, that's just him, just the way he is. What a great coach, what a great person, what a great man. We've got a new defensive line coach, Coach Chris Benjamin.
He is built.
Yeah. Well, he's a former Navy pilot, and
Okay.
he's still in good shape. He's retired Navy. He got into teaching and coaching, I think, about 4 years ago or so. He was over at Escambia the past couple of years, and he's joined us this year on the D-line, and you can feel his energy. I noticed, that he was making a difference in the summer when he joined us in the summer immediately with the D-line. And our D-line, we knew going into the season was going to be young, inexperienced, and you can see them getting better each week.
Most definitely.
In the secondary, Coach Brandon Lawson has been coaching in our secondary since I've been here. Brandon went to school at Navarre, played at Navarre, and he's been on the staff. He was coaching before I got here, and then has been with us since and coaching the secondary. Does a great job with the safeties. And then we've got another new coach, Coach Jamie Jones, coaches our corners. Jamie has been in our program now, I think, 3 years. He was on the freshman staff for 2, and this most recently moved up to the varsity and coaching corners. And then also Steve Gardner is coaching our kickers. And Steve, has been volunteering and helping now for I think about 3 or 4 years, and it's made a huge difference because he works with our kickers, but he also works with our punters, works with our snappers, and is doing a great job there. So certainly blessed with a great staff.
I'm still trying to prize some of those playing day pictures of Coach Lawson when he played at Navarre. He has not brought them out yet. Because I do a countdown every year, and I try to bring out the old photos. He hasn't given me any of his old photos yet.
He's got some. Yeah, he's got them.
But you got any more questions for Coach, Bob?
Yeah, and talking about your coaches, you would be the last person to keep any of these coaches from moving on. They're talented. They've been head coaches.
Yeah,
but they stay around. They're loyal to you. That says a lot about you as a head coach.
Well, I've been fortunate that we've had some consistency as far as guys, being a part of our program, staying, and I think it has to do with we're successful. We try to do things right. Working, coaching, teaching at Navarre High School is unbelievable. It is awesome. We are blessed with the kids and the administration, just school, athletics, all of it. That's a lot of fun. When you look at other places, you go, no, Navarre, man, this is really special. But I've always, had the philosophy that if I can do anything to help any of my coaches achieve any goal they want to achieve, I certainly do not want to hold them back. I want to help them. I was very fortunate that that's the experience that I had when I first started coaching and moving up, and certainly want to do the same. And I think the things we do at Navarre and the way we coach our guys, the way we're organized, we just try to improve every year. We're not afraid to change. If we need to, we will.
Well, the Jay Walls coaching tree continues. You have the coach at Lighthouse.
Yep.
Right.
Everett Alford.
Yep.
Tony Carter at Pine Forest.
Yep.
And there's others that I'm sure I'm
Joe
forgetting.
Sherrod up at Central, getting
That's
that
right.
program.
I forgot about
Joe.
Getting that
Coach
program
Sherrod.
up and running.
Yep. Excited about what he's getting rolling up there at Central. Yeah.
Did they have a football program ever before this?
I'm not sure. I can't really tell you.
Okay.
I would think, that school's been around for so long that there may have been football way back in the day. I'm not sure.
But I hope that he gets that program up and running. We need another Santa Rosa County team here. There's never enough football going on in this county. You got Milton coming up.
Yeah.
They're having a little bit of a down year, but you can't go into this game looking at they're having a down year with the kids.
You can't look at records. You can't look at any of that. Our district race is still wide open. Nothing's, we've got to win. Some teams have some wins and some losses, and right now Milton, is off to a tough start, but nothing has been determined. There's no district champion. There's nobody locked on anything. And so we're playing a county rival. We're playing them at their place. They're still in it. We're expecting their best. they do a good job up there. They are going through some struggles, but Coach Kelly Gillis does a great job. Their staff, they're going to be ready. We're expecting their best, and our kids know, that we won 4 in a row. That's good, but this week, none of that matters.
Just go 1-0 this week.
That's right.
What kind of offense does Milton run?
Their spread attack. They've been that gun spread, and they'll run the football, somewhat, but they like to throw the ball. They've been doing that now for a while.
You've got Emory Williams as the backup quarterback at University of Miami right now, and Raymond Cottrell as wide receiver on Texas A&M. So they've had some talent. They lost a lot of talent, but they got some young talent coming up.
Oh, they absolutely do.
What kind of defense do they run?
They're playing a 3-4, an odd front, and every game that we've played with Milton, their defense, their front, very physical. And they've got some guys in the secondary that can make some plays, but they're basing out of an odd front, a 3-4.
And the field design, I've never seen a field tilted like that field is the way up there in Milton.
It definitely has a cramp.
And you look from the sideline, it's like it goes up like this, almost like a triangle at some points. But it's always tough to go up there and play at Milton. And we're not even going to talk about next week. We'll talk about next week when it comes, because we got to look forward to this week and going 2-0 in district this week.
Well, we so far we had to battle some rain today, but our kids did a good job with it. We had a decent practice, all things considered. We're healthy, and that was another thing with the Mosley game. We came out of that game healthy. Going into district play against Milton, we needed that, and we were very fortunate that we've got that situation.
I'm not sure you knocked wood when you were talking about injuries.
That's for Micah there. I don't think that's wood.
We'll type the underside. Saw some guys hobbling off. I don't know if it was cramps or any other injuries. How are you injury-wise coming into the Milton game?
We're in good shape. Yeah, all of our starters are healthy. Yep.
You're talking about the defensive line. We basically replaced everybody on the defensive line. Adding Tristan Ferreira, who has really started to pick up his game the last couple games.
He has improved.
And it's been nice because you've always had kind of a rotation on that defensive line to keep the guys fresh. Because it's a long game. 48 minutes does not sound like a long time. When you're on the defensive line battling every single play in and out, they need a break.
Absolutely.
And it's been nice. You brought up a couple of freshmen this year. Peyton Robinson on the offensive line, and Bryce Wheeler, who has stepped up really nice in the last couple of games.
Yeah, those guys are you see them improve every day, and they've got ability. Otherwise, they wouldn't be working with the varsity right now. And also Jared Hoyla has also been moved up. He's playing O-line. We moved him up as well. But, those 3 guys are doing a really good job. I'm excited about, what they're going to do in the future. Bryce Wheeler made some plays last week, and so you're probably going to see him getting in there a little bit more. And again, we knew going into the season, and we didn't start working on it, like in August. We started working on it, back in February and in the spring and summer. But it just takes time. I think Braxton Barr was the only returning D lineman with a little bit of experience. And you see Braxton improving every week. You see Ezekiel Easy Gasca, he's improving every week. We're loving those guys. And also Tristan, a new guy coming in. The biggest thing with him is he's got ability, and he's a talented player. He just had to learn our system, and I think now he's starting to understand what we're doing, so that's paying off as well.
You and I spoke off the air about time of possession in the Mosley game. Those D linemen need a break every now and then, but I saw the Ferreira kid really step his game up. And in fact, I think probably the most tackles he's had all year, Bill.
Yes,
would
he
you
had
say?
10, 5 solo, 5 assists.
He had
and the big sack.
Yes, that was a big play.
They obviously they have to learn the system. They have to know the rotation be ready, and all that. And then they did I've done a pretty good job this year. But your linebackers, gosh almighty.
Yeah,
they have done, and they're juniors.
Yeah, they're all juniors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I told Bill, thank God juniors can't come out in high school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we talked earlier about I'd never seen that many tackles, and you said in the Pace game you
a
thought
couple
there
years
was
back
20
with Christian Caballero, he had a 30 tackle game against Pace up there.
Good God.
Yeah.
He basically took over that game. Well, Pace run oriented team, and that's where he was getting the majority of his tackles.
Yeah, they do run the football, and your linebackers, you hope, are going to make a lot of tackles against them. But
unless you roll your corner and safeties up, you don't want your secondary leading the team in tackles. That's kind of not a good thing.
Right.
But your linebackers, getting to the point about linebackers, each of them have had big moments this season.
They have. Vinny had a lot of tackles Friday night, and he's been really consistent and is really playing well. About 3 weeks ago, I noticed our linebackers were really improving with their fits, with just their aggressive play, because I think they've really just settled down and they are keyed in on their reads and where they're supposed to fit. Vinny's doing a great job. Andre's doing a great job. Josh Wilson at outside linebacker. And then also Mason Baker playing our bandit linebacker. He's playing hard. Logan Hand, a sophomore, he's had an injury to his arm, but he's back now.
Is he?
So that'll help at linebacker. But no doubt our linebackers have played really well, and they got to play well this Friday. Milton, as I mentioned, they're more pass oriented. But still, our linebackers are involved, obviously, in our coverage and our pressures. So we got to have great play from them as far as any pressures that we put on Milton or any coverage. And they're playing well. So this would be a great Friday night to just have.
What's the over and under, and how many kickoffs that Terrence is going to see this week?
I don't know.
Yeah. You're not very bright if you kicked it that young.
They mostly did it twice.
Yeah.
And
Terrence had 99
and
yards.
if it's not Terrence, it's Nate Hansen back there. It's Connor Black. Whoever's back there.
Yeah, we do have, Terrence is a huge weapon, and he's doing a great job. But we've got a lot of guys. Nate Hansen's back there, Connor Black, Tyrell, and I'm sure I'm forgetting somebody, but we got some big return guys, and our guys that we have out there. There's nobody that's out there that's not athletic. Our front five, our tight ends or our guys that are up, close to the front five, and then our halfbacks. They're athletic guys. Everybody, can run.
You talk about our return game, but what I've seen over the course of the year is our special teams on kickoffs have vastly improved.
Well, it's been a big point of emphasis because we weren't doing real well in any of it really to start with, and so we've worked hard on it. And the credit goes to the kids. We've really pushed with them. We work on it in practice. We have meetings before school on special teams, and a big emphasis has been kickoff and kickoff return. We work all of it in practice, and we've had other meetings, but the major emphasis has been those two.
If you may have had 6 opportunities for kickoff returns, you had 6 different formations or lineups that I noticed. Almost like a ladder one time, and then a traditional set. You mix it up.
Well, we try to make adjustments based on what people do, what they have shown in previous games, what they do in the game that we're in, and just some things that we feel like we need to adjust to, and so again, Coach Bagley handles our special teams as well, and does a really good job with that. It's him and Coach Lawson, Coach Benjamin, Coach Hemingway. They handle our KOR and do a great job with it.
Well, one thing, all the players that we've had on this year, great bunch of young men, but I always ask them, what individual goals did you play? I know you have individual goals, but every one of them concentrate. They're all team-oriented players, and that's what you have to be successful.
Yeah, well, there's no doubt that you got to have great players, and some individual players, some great players can win some games for you, but if we're going to win, championships, win in the playoffs, win on a high level, it's about team, and the best teams will win, the state championship, so that's what we're trying to teach them, and not just in football, really in everything that and y'all know this too, that as you go through life, the older you get, you realize it's less and less about you and more about everybody else.
You got that right, Coach.
And so we're trying to teach them that, and a lot of them know it, and we got a great group of kids.
Most definitely. Ladies and gentlemen, Coach Wall's on it with us here in week 8. God, it's hard to believe we're into week 8. It's like we wait so long for it to get here, and then it gets here, and it's like,
fly.
Where'd that go?
Yeah.
But we appreciate you coming on every Wednesday night. Join us on Buffalo Wild Wings Coaches Show. Thanks for the idea, and we're glad that you brought it up, and I'm glad that we could make it happen for you.
It's been fun. Let's keep it going.
Yep.
And you're the only coach in the area that's got a show like this.
Well,
then we're proud of it.
Yeah, thank you.
So,
blessed again.
Well, we appreciate you coming on, Coach.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll see you out there Friday night.
Right,
Bring home another W.
All right, good to see y'all. Thank you.
Great teams have great support. The Navarre Raiders have one of the best support organizations, the Navarre Raiders Quarterback Club. All the members see to it that the Raiders have all available necessities to keep the Raiders on track. Whether it's seeing to it that they're properly fed, have good transportation, or making sure that all Raider fans can watch and hear all exciting Navarre Raider football action, the Navarre Raider Quarterback Club is there to make it happen. Thanks, Navarre Raider Quarterback Club, for your support of your winning Navarre Raiders on IrishBillSports.com.
A strong work ethic takes pride in a job well done. This is the kind of person you need. Express Employment Professionals can help because we understand what it takes to hire the right person. It takes real people, real interviews. We find good people, matching the right skills with the right jobs from the production floor to the front office. Express knows jobs. Get to know Express. Go to expresspros.com to find a location near you.
University Lending Group, located in Harvest Village, is Navarre's local mortgage lender. If buying, selling, or building a dream home is in your future, you need to contact University Lending Group. Jennifer Gomes and Stacy Wright are the loan specialists who have the experience to take you step by step to make your buying, building, or selling experience smooth. See University at 752 Navarre Parkway, Suite 56, or call 850-396-0322.
One, 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 5, 6, 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock. 9, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, rock. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. Put your glad rags on, join me home. We'll have some fun when the clock strikes 1. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. We're gonna rock, rock, rock till broad daylight. We're gonna rock around the clock tonight. When the clock strikes 2, 3, and 4, if the band slows down,
Welcome back to the Buffalo Wild Wings Coaches Show. Seminole Bob here with Irish Bill. What a great interview with Coach Walls there.
Yeah, we double teamed him there.
Yeah, we didn't mean to, but it doesn't matter what we throw him. He came back with the right answer.
He's speaking of smooth operator. Coach Walls,
99-31, looking for win number 100 at Navarre this Friday night up in Milton. Big district matchup game. We're not going to spend too much time because we talked about a lot about this last night. We're just going to go over it quickly. Irishville Super 7 Panhandle Power Rankings. Large schools, Niceville, Escambia, Pace, Navarre, Choctaw, Tate, and Pine Forest. Our small schools, Walton Catholic, Holmes County, Bozeman, Mariana, West Florida, and Destin. Our offensive player of the week from Walton, Wells Bettenhausen, 21-26, 406 yards, 2 touchdowns, and 2 rushing touchdowns. Our defensive player from Navarre, Vinny Villanova, 20 tackles, 12 solo, 8 assists, and a big cause fumble that saved a touchdown. And our special teams, Pine Forest, Mikkel Brock Jr., 2 kickoff returns, 95, 97, both for scores, but they came up a little bit short against Niceville.
Yep.
This past Friday night. We're going to head back to our picks. We're going to tell you what we did last week, just the overall numbers. Pick Wizard, he went 22-3 last week. I was one game back, 21-4.
Yeah.
You had 20-5, respectable, very, very respectable, Bob. And
missed the Leon game, though.
And Paul's starting to try to gain his wings a little bit.
Paul, step your game up, dude.
He's listening. He's watching up in Birmingham tonight. He's on a business trip.
Okay, that's where they love the governor.
You going to paint me in Birmingham?
Yeah.
I dislike that song. But anyways, on the season, Joe has a 4-game lead over me. I have a 7-game lead over you. And Paul's right there under nip and tuck because he just started the last 2 weeks.
Right.
So here's our picks this week. As we got the entries from Paul, it's a peanut butter and jelly pick. That's what we call, if everybody picks the same team, it's called peanut butter and jelly because it's Paul, Bob, and Joe.
Peanut butter jelly time, peanut butter jelly time. Oh, no, sorry.
Pine Forest at IMG Academy. That's a PJP pick. Leon at Childs. Oh, wait, what are you going to say about that first game real quick?
Is the IMG game maybe on ESPN?
I don't think so.
Okay.
But my son Brady will be on the sideline for Pine Forest this Friday night. Great experience for those guys to go down there to play at IMG, the best team in the state of Florida. Leon at Childs. Joe going with Leon. The rest of us going with Childs. We got Godby at Florida High. That's a PJP pick, all for Florida High. Weewall at Franklin County. Us three take Weewall. Paul's reaching out on a limb for Franklin County to get their first win at home.
He's
down in East Point, Florida.
East Point, yeah.
Used to be Carabel.
That's yonder.
That is yonder down there. It takes a while to get there from anywhere. Paul going with Franklin County. Sorry, Paul, there's a loss. Lincoln at Rickards. All going with Lincoln. They're starting to play some ball.
Yeah, buddy.
Taylor County at Wakulla. Wakulla probably one of the better teams in the Panhandle and Big Bend region. They're 6-0, actually 7-0, looking to go 8-0. It shouldn't have much trouble with Taylor County.
I'm just glad Taylor County gets to play football because
it's been a struggle for them this year. No consistency. Gadsden County at Mariana. We're split on this one. Joe and I are taking Gadsden County. You and Paul are taking Mariana. Graceville at Vernon. Going with the Yellow Jackets there. That's a PJB pick. Sewanee at Madison County. This should be a really good game. But your old school Sewanee's got a tough one at Madison County this week. And but we're all going with the Bulldogs in that one, Sewanee. Monroe Day at Maclay. Monroe Day is our pick by all four. Gulf Breeze. I'm probably going to mess this name up. Tahopa Kaliga. Gulf Breeze playing down in Kissimmee this week. Tahopa Kaliga. I think that's the name of the school. I'm probably way off. What do you think?
Kissimmee.
Kissimmee, okay. they're heading down to Kissimmee. That's a long road trip. You, myself, and Joe are taking Gulf Breeze, and Paul is taking the home team in this one.
Okay.
They're 4-2, I believe.
Yep.
Gulf Breeze 2-4. Might have something to do with Coach Gierke in his first year. He used to coach down in that area.
Correct.
So I'm wondering if that is how this game came to be. Next, Bozeman at Port St. Joe. All going with the Buccaneers to stay unbeaten in this one.
Tough, man. I'm telling you.
Port St. Joe, a tough place to play, but we think Bozeman will get it done. Escambia going against Choctaw. This is a big, huge district matchup in Class 3S District 1.
Can I see Choctaw winning? Absolutely. No doubt. Cole Tab, Jesse Winslet and company. Their kicker scores 18 points last week.
Anytime you get that, that's a bonus.
Well, I mean, Scamby's got to look at that. I mean,
Anthony Hall doing a great job over there for Coach Bennett. Anytime you go up against any Coach Bennett teams, you know you're in for a dogfight.
Yep.
But Joe, Bob, and I are going with Escambia. Paul going with the home team, Choctaw, at Joe Etheridge Stadium. Okay, let's go on over to Jay and Northview. Not too far apart of these two teams.
Yep, rivalry.
And but Northview's down a little bit this year. We're all going with Jay on the road.
Yeah, they lost their stud running back, I do believe. Right?
Brock Stout.
Yep.
And West Florida going to Pensacola. The beat of the drum continues, and it's West Florida early and often, and much more after that. All going with West Florida on the road. Catholic at Walton, one of the big games of the week. Walton undefeated. Catholic 5-1. Their only loss was to a very, very good team out of Athens, Georgia. It's going to be a ball game, but the home team gets the advantage in this one for me and you and Paul.
Yep.
But Joe is going with the Crusaders in this one.
Of course he is.
Crestview at Mosley. Mosley, a bounce-back game. They should have no trouble with the Bulldogs. North Florida Christian at Rocky Bayou. Shouldn't be much of a matchup here unless Rocky Bayou, we don't know which one's going to show up.
Yeah.
But we're going with North Florida Christian in that one. Pace at Tate. This is a game that affects our district.
So what's bigger, Suwannee, Madison County, Tate Pace, Walton Catholic? I lean toward Pace Tate.
And Joe and Paul are taking Pace. You and I are taking the Aggies because they've been scoring at light speed numbers of late.
5 in a row, scoring 42 points or more.
And one of those was a loss.
That's true. Yeah.
Okay, next we're going to go over to Arnold. St. John Paul II is going to have their way with the Marlins in this one.
Battle of undefeated, not undefeated, no wins.
Totally scathed. Bay at South Walton. We're going with South Walton in this one. We're all going with St. John Paul II in the previous one. Rutherford at North Bay Haven. Rutherford having a tough time scoring as well. We're all going with, believe they're the Buccaneers as well.
Yes, Rutherford did win last week, but of course they played
Arnold.
Freeport
at Holmes County, a juggernaut of an offense there with Holmes County. Over there in,
Freeport's really struggling. I know a lot of folks in and around that program, and it's really just the status quo. There's no eagerness to change coaches or do anything.
Unfortunately, I got to remind people what happened last year. Right before the season, their head coach was in a boating accident, and so they had to replace their head coach. The 22 season, right before the season
Freeport?
was getting ready to start. Actually, that was at Vernon. That was Vernon.
Yeah.
I stand corrected. That was Vernon. This is Freeport. Coach Arch has been there for quite a while.
He has. Yep.
But we're going with Holmes County in that one. Chipley at Destin. Chipley 4-1. They had the week off last week. They're healthy. Destin 6-1 suffered their first loss to a very tough Bozeman team, and they host the Tigers of Chipley this week. You, I, and Paul are going with the home team in this one, the Sharks.
Yeah,
of course, Joe's going with Chipley.
Of course. It'd be interesting to see how Destin bounces back, only scoring, 9 points last week.
Yeah,
in their first loss.
Hugh Boudreau is the quarterback over there at Destiny. He's had a great season. Hopefully he can get back on track in that one. Lighthouse PCA, fresh off a win over Pike Liberal Arts. They're going to Sneeds. Paul's taking Lighthouse on the road. And we're going with Sneeds, all three of us. Booker T. Washington at Fort Walton Beach. I'm starting to wonder what Paul is drinking tonight, because he's taking Washington at Fort Walton Beach.
Well, if you're behind, you got to catch up some way, right? Just ask me.
Yeah.
11 games back. I do all the research. I look at teams and who they play and who they played in high school. And where does it get me?
You're just trying to play catch-up. Need to put a little mustard on that, too.
No
so
kidding.
Ketchup and mustard.
It's condiment week.
Then our last game, our game, Navarre at Milton. All of us going with the Raiders on the road.
I don't know. Frankly, I don't care if anybody believes me. I think Navarre's going to run the table. Playoffs may be another story, but of course, the more you win, the higher you go in the
and
standings.
That's why they play the game.
Where is Navarre this week?
At Milton.
Oh, I know that, but I mean where they are in the
they're
playoff.
the number 8 team right now. Pace is number 5.
And they only choose 8, right?
Yes, out of Region 1. Each region, they take the top 8 teams. So if they keep winning, they're not going to get any lower than 8. But if they keep winning, they'll win the district. And at the very worst, they could be the 5 seed, and they would still host a 4 seed
like
we did last year against Creekside. Okay, that's enough for the high school. Let's move over to college. We have a new leader on the top all by himself. Take a bow. Bob has moved into lead, 140-19, 88.1%. After him and I went 19-6 last week. Joe and Paul brought up the rear, 17-8. Joe and I fall 2 games back, so you got a 2-game lead now, Bob, in the college picks. And Paul's he's at 74%, so he's a little back there a little bit. But we'll have to get him in at the beginning of the year next year, so that way.
Well, I missed the Oklahoma State game. Oklahoma State beat Kansas State last week. This week, it's kind of a mixed bag. There's some big games, but then there's some cupcakes too.
You talk about the big. Here's the games. You talk about them, and right there they are in front of us.
You turn the page.
I did turn the page. We'll have to use that Bob Seger song next week or something. Thursday night games, and we've actually had games last night. We had games tonight. Games on Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday, pros, Sunday.
I told you.
7 straight days of football.
Holy
Does it not
cow.
get any better than that?
Oh, my gosh. What do they call it? The football widows?
Yep.
But you know what? Ever since look at there, I tapped the thing and the computer comes
Magic
on.
Man.
Magic Man.
Too much magic?
Magic
I think
Mike.
not.
Magic Mike.
Magic Mike.
Ever since, our daughter's gone to FSU, my wife Kirsten is always, and your wife too, they're big football fans. Gosh, I mean, don't take it the wrong way, but that's, to me, pretty sexy. Am I wrong?
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. But I just,
even your
I
wife,
just didn't think the words like that would come out of your mouth.
Even your wife watches Notre Dame football now.
Well, she didn't last week. Nobody watched that game with me. I was by myself.
Well, it's because.
But the reason she watches it is for Sam Hartman. Sam didn't play quite so well last week, but we're not going to talk about that because that will only bring me down.
No.
Down.
Down,
bring me down.
in that burning rain of fire.
Okay, Thursday night games. West Virginia at Houston. All going with the Mountaineers on the road. SMU at East Carolina. You saying what SMU?
What's
That's
SMU
what's
with
SMU
you?
with you. Southern Methodist University at East Carolina playing the Pirates. We're all going with SMU on the road. Friday night, Tulane at Memphis. We're split here. Paul and I are taking Tulane. You and Joe are taking Memphis. Fresno
could be home of Tyrell Marshall next year.
possible. He's right now committed to Memphis. Fresno State, that's a PB&J pick. Fresno State on the road at Utah State.
What happened to Fresno, the Bulldogs, last week?
Wyoming. Have you ever played a game? Have you ever been to a game in Laramie?
No.
Not a lot of people have.
Coach Tom Lentz has, though.
Yes, he has. Josh Allen played there as well.
He sure did. Different times.
But some of the awfulest uniforms.
Brown
and yellow. I mean, okay, we'll move on.
It ruins your dinner.
It does. Stanford at Colorado, looking for win number 5 on the season.
One more.
And they're a pretty good bet, a double-digit spread in that game.
Let me ask you a cereal question. A
cereal?
Yeah.
What kind of cereal?
Cornflakes.
Wheat?
Yeah.
Wheaties, cornflakes,
Wheaties.
Captain Crunch.
Ooh, I like Captain Crunch.
I did too.
If Coach Sanders, Deion Sanders, if he makes the team bowl eligible from 1 and whatever, or was it 0 and forever?
1-11 last year.
Is he Coach of the Year in NCAA football?
Very easily could be. Deborah Box is checking in. She checks into every show that we do. Thanks, Deborah.
Deborah. Thank you for listening.
Saturday games. We all went with Colorado in that
Yep.
one. Saturday, Syracuse at Florida State. Florida State easily in that one. Missouri at Kentucky. We're all going with Kentucky except you. You're going with Missouri.
Yeah, I have a feeling. That's the same feeling
had a
I had
feeling
with Kentucky last week.
Tonight's going to be a good night.
The feeling I had last week with Georgia and Kentucky must have been indigestion because, boy, was I wrong. I just have a feeling Missouri's going to play well. I think Kentucky's going to have a hangover for getting drilled by Georgia.
She brought up Fruit Loops. We forgot about Fruit Loops.
Fruit Loops. Yep, Fruit Loops. Oh, Deborah, cinnamon
Toast Crunch? Is that what you're talking about?
Oh, cinnamon Fruit Loop or cinnamon, Cheerios.
Lucky
or Fruit
Charms.
Loops. Magically delicious. Easy for me to say.
Yeah, we had some good cereals growing up. You're going with Missouri, the Tigers.
Yep.
Indiana, Michigan. We're not even going to talk about this game. Michigan in a landslide. Miami, Florida. Are we going to kneel? Should we kneel in this one?
Should we kneel, Father?
Yes.
What in the name of Willie Taggart are you doing, Miami?
You got to kneel. And I'm not saying Neil Diamond. I'm saying kneel down, run the clock out.
Yeah.
So we're all going with North Carolina in this one. Mac Brown gets the win.
Is that faux pas? I'm speaking French to you. Yeah. That faux pas. Is it going to go down like wide right or no?
It could, but I don't think it will happen again at Miami because if he goes down, and they were having a great season so far, and this could turn around that season for them.
Is that their second loss?
That's their first loss.
First loss. Holy cow. They were potentially, I mean, if they win the ACC.
Now they have to beat Florida State. There's no doubt they have to beat Florida State.
At Florida State.
At Florida State. I don't see that
couple
happening.
Weeks, yep. I don't know.
But we're all going with North Carolina there. Ohio State at Purdue, no matchup. The Buckeyes in a romp. Arkansas at Alabama. I thought K.J. Jefferson was going to have a great year. Not so much. He's coming back off an injury last week. I look for Bama to put up big numbers against
Let me
Arkansas.
ask you a question. Did Nick Saban seek out Tommy Rees, or did Tommy Rees seek out Nick Saban?
That's a good question. I do not have the answer to.
Tommy Rees, former quarterback at Notre Dame?
Correct. Former offensive coordinator as well. But
I mean, Nick
good
Saban
question.
just doesn't choose any coach.
It's kind of been a real rehabilitation tree that he's going in and out of there with some former head coaches.
The coaches have done well when they've moved on.
Yep.
How many
Especially
can
Bill
you name?
O'Brien.
How many can you name? Jimbo?
Kirby Smart.
Yep. Yep.
He's doing pretty darn good, isn't he, Kirby?
Not bad.
And his Kirby copter flying all around everywhere.
Bill O'Brien to some degree. The guy at Texas.
Well, we thought Sam Pittman he turned Arkansas around for a little while, but they've kind of went back to being Arkansas.
The guy at Texas, Sarkisian.
Yeah.
The dude at Ole Miss.
Lane Kiffin.
Not bad.
Okay, number 1, Georgia at Vanderbilt. Do we need to talk about this game?
Whew. Now, it would be easy. I could see a game where Georgia goes 28-0. And when you
First
see
half?
you see first quarter. No, for the game. I mean, Kirby's, that's hard for a coach. You come off, you play Kentucky.
Probably their best game of the season that they played.
So far. And then you play Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt. You mean Wonder Bra?
Yeah, might as well be. It's okay if their players have higher IQs than you do. It's all about the gold, but no, I'm just kidding. It's hard for a coach to get a team up. I mean, they put a mud hole stomping 51
on Kentucky.
Do you think Kirby, that was intentional?
I think that was a message.
Did you see what Mark Stoops said about Kirby?
I did not.
Questioned their NIL.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
It's bad enough you get your ass beat. Why, Mark?
Well, let's move on. Auburn at LSU. Offense is rolling in LSU. Now if they can just play a little defense, we're all going with the Tigers. And that one, the home Tigers, as Tiger Mike would say, the real Tigers.
Yep.
California at Utah, we're all going with the Utes. UMass at Penn State.
42.5 is not enough.
Honey bar the door. This one's over in the first 5 minutes of the game. Texas A&M going to Tennessee. I debated on this one back and forth, but A&M has not proved to me that they are very good on the road yet.
Don't forget who Tennessee plays next week, Bill.
Yep. Alabama. We're all going with the Vols at home. Kansas at Oklahoma State. PB&J take Kansas. Irish Bill says, not so fast, my friend. I'm going with the home team in this one, Oklahoma State.
Not a bad pick.
I'm 50. I'm a man.
The muleteer. By the way, I sat next to a guy at the a Virginia Tech game. A fellow whose son, freshman, they're from Houston, but he went to Oklahoma State. He says the coaches had more hairstyles and offensive plays this year. He's changed it. He's not just a mullet. He had a spike one game. A mohawk.
Well, you're not going to get a spike out of this.
Cover that up.
Yeah, that was bright. Anyways, let's move on. Oregon at Washington, a big game here.
Absolutely.
Once again, you guys are going with the road team, and I'm going with the home team, Washington.
Is that the best late game on?
Yes.
Yeah.
Then we got Arizona going to Washington State. We're going with the Cougs in that one. USC at Notre Dame. I know you begged me to reconsider my pick, but I am sticking with my pick.
That's fine. I mean, that's
very disappointed last week with their performance. I know they'll play better this week, but I just don't.
You should.
I don't see any roads for them scoring enough points to beat USC. So Paul and I are going with UNC. You and Joe are going with Notre Dame.
Do you think that Notre Dame would have a chance if their quarterback gets injured?
No chance.
Even with their with the,
oh, you're talking Notre Dame's quarterback or
no,
USC's.
the Heisman Trophy.
Oh yeah,
winner.
that would be one. That would be about the only way I see Notre Dame winning that ball game.
Well, Hartman obviously is going to have to play out of his mind. But how old is he?
He's 24, 25.
Yeah, I mean, I just have a feeling, man.
Well, I hope so. I'll take a loss if they win. I have no problem taking a loss, as you can tell by my record.
What? Yeah. All right. What would have to truly, serious, what would have to happen for Notre Dame to win?
One.
What's their keys to victory? Is
their
Kirkstreet says.
Keys to victory? Note, I know this is cliche, and I always get, Bill, that's cliche. No turnovers. Your line has to play immeasurably better than they did last week against Louisville.
Can't be any worse.
Can't be any worse. You just got, and the play calling was atrocious, especially on third down. You got to come up with a better game plan. Your line's got to play better. You got to run the ball and control the clock.
Keep them off the field.
Excuse me. On to Duke. North Carolina State at Duke. We're all going with Duke at home. UCLA at Oregon State, fresh off that Washington State win, but it's not going to be enough on the road in Corvallis.
What's the name of their quarterback from Oregon State?
DJ Uiagalelei. You like
Transfer, very good. Transfer from Clemson.
From Clemson. Boise State at Colorado State. We'd like to see Grady Kelly have a big game, but they don't have a chance to win this one. And San Diego State at Hawaii for their lengthy road trip to the islands.
You call it a road trip or a boat trip or an air trip?
Aztecs by a lot.
Think so.
Well, that's going to wrap up another show. We've done our picks. The only way to find out how we did is to tune in Tuesday and Wednesday night next week. And we'll be coming back, I'm pretty sure, with a Raider victory this Friday night. Coach won't say that, but we will. And all four of our so-called experts, so-called.
Circumstances happen. Had car trouble today. I'll be in town, Bill, so I'm going to join y'all so Paul and I can.
You know, one thing I haven't mentioned all year, and I'm going to get this off my chest. Well, it's not a rant. Your tech professionals, they're the ones that have developed my site. They're the ones that make sure that I get on every week.
Right.
They maintain my site.
Right.
I don't want to thank Josh and September Dye for what they've done for me, because without them, we wouldn't be able to do this. They put my site together. Any troubles that I've had, and it's been a learning experience for me, especially once we started going to video. They have helped me out unmeasurably.
Right.
All I have to do is drop them a line any time of the day if I have any issues. But I want to thank your tech for making all this happen. Yes, we put it together. We do the show, but without them, we couldn't do the show.
Well, tell them to take off, the cost of what they charge you, and then they can be a new sponsor.
Well, they don't charge me much, and it's actually it's not much at all. But I just wanted to get down, and I'm going to try my best every week to thank them, because without them, you wouldn't be watching our show every Tuesday and Wednesday night, and Navarre football on Friday night. So thank you, Josh, and September.
Absolutely.
And yes,
thank
her
you.
first name is September, even though that's last month's news.
Really?
September.
Okay.
I know. That was bad. Anyways, but thank you, Your Tech. Thank you, Buffalo Wild Wings. Thank you, Culver's, Ursula Householder, the Navarre Raider Quarterback Club, All Dry, a new sponsor this year that came in, Culver's, and we also
mentioned
forgetting
Buffalo Wild Wings.
University Lending
Yep.
Group and Ursula Householder.
And not only thank you, but those listeners out there, use these companies.
They do.
Use them.
Yep, use them. All Dry, unfortunately, hopefully you won't have to use All Dry, but if you do, use them. They're the best. You have any fire damage, water damage, they'll come in and make it all new.
Oh, my God.
Thanks,
Stand
Ben.
at attention. It's a Lou Holt sighting on TV.
Oh. Are you sure? Is he standing up?
I love Lou
Hey,
Holt.
that guy on the one team, he kind of looks like B.B. Brown.
He does.
On the right. But we all know who that is. So, but anyways, thank you, sponsors. We appreciate all that you do so that we can do what we do.
Most importantly, thank our listeners. People like Deborah Broxton who are so loyal to us. Listen every week. Folks from New
the
Jersey.
Marshalls, Tyler Daniels' grandparents, New York, New Jersey, Vermont, wherever they're at.
Arizona. We had an Arkansas
Former
sighting.
coaches tuning in. Coach Greenhaw, Coach Brian Brinsfeld.
Yeah.
And
former players.
Derek Percival checks in when he can. All alum. Big Lemmy Wilson checks in every once in a while.
Bunch of quarterbacks.
Our good friend Ken, Tim Keene. What's he say?
He says, "Roll Tide." Tim, if you're listening, are you gonna? Don't look ahead, brother. They got Tennessee.
They got Tennessee. Well, we're going to wrap up another show here from Buffalo Wild Wings. It's been Seminole Bob, myself, Irish Bill. We've had Coach Walls and wide receiver, and our Ian Lockwood player of the game from last Friday night, Nate Hansen. What a night he had! 3 touches.
What a great interview you had with him. Dude, man, not only are they athletes.
Yes. Engineering. He wants to get into engineering or sports broadcasting.
Student.
Which would you direct him to do?
Engineering. Student, right?
Athletes. You know what we can do? He goes off and becomes an engineer, plays football. He wants to broadcast. He can come back and join our team. Anytime. Open invitation to Nate Hansen. Well, until Friday night, may the wind ever be at your back. May you stay dry. And may you always think that it's greater to be a Raider.
Amen. Thank you.